Welcome back. Today we are here in Luxembourg and we're looking at the American cemetery. This is actually where General George S. Patton, World War II hero, was buried.
The GPS was able to get us to the cemetery without any issues. And upon your arrival, we definitely recommend going to see that visitor center on the left there. The visitor center has information hanging on the walls. It has comfortable furniture. They have a guest book that you and your family can sign. They also have maps available which tell about the cemetery in several different languages. Here's a look at the information they have about General Patton, who's buried here. In this same area, they have maps of the entire cemetery as well as a locator book. So if you know of somebody who is buried here, or if you're related to somebody, then you can look up your relative or your friend or whoever it is, and you'll have the ability to find their particular grave. One of the coolest things about this cemetery is the fact that they have several children's activity books or family activity books which are available for you to borrow during your time while you're at the cemetery. There are 3 books available to choose from while we were there. One dealt with tanks, one dealt with infantry, and one dealt with the airborne units of World War II. These books had some stories and anecdotes inside of them so that the kids could read and learn about history at the same time. My children picked 2 different books and both of them led right here to John Dyer for their first clue. And the question was, what does that symbol beside his name mean? My children wrote down their answers to this and all of the other clues that were inside of their book. They had to go down the rows and count, and in this case find the Medal of Honor winner. And notice that this gravestone has gold lettering whereas others don't. Here's a look at the Infantry Book. Again, it starts off with a map so the children can find everything. It has a little bit of trivia, and then it sends them off to look at different graves and allows them to see some of the different things out there, locating a unit, locating a set of brothers, and having some trivia in there as well. This was a tool that not only taught the kids some things, but it also taught us some awesome facts as well. When they finished their challenge, the children were each given an ambassador certificate and a US flag. One of the things that I found of interest was General Patton's grave. He had a grave marker much like those of everyone else. Of course, it had darkened letters and had a wreath laid by it, and it was by itself, but it was still a simple cross, just like all the other soldiers.
Here in Luxembourg, and the grave of General George S. Patton, former commander of 3rd Army, having been a part of the 3rd Army organization during my time as a soldier. I definitely am glad to be able to stop here to feel the connection, because you hear all the stories about General Patton and about the things he did and his experiences during the war, and it's neat to be able to see where he was laid to rest after all that time and all those years.
One thing you'll notice right away when you go in the gate is this beautiful tower, and it's also a chapel. As you go inside, you're going to be presented with an area that is set aside for remembering those who have gone before us and fought so bravely in battle. There's a guest book that you can sign to let people know that you've been there. Obviously, I turned to a blank page out of respect for those who have gone through there before me. Although this chapel is very small, it is very beautiful as well.
This is the chapel area, dedicated so people can come and pay respects. Some interesting facts about this memorial is that it contains 5,076 headstones, 22 sets of brothers. It was dedicated July 4th, 1960, and it's about 50.5 acres, so 50.5 acres. One point of interest is that out of the 5,076 markers here, 4,958 are Latin crosses, and approximately 118, or actually 118 of them, are Star of David markers. Each radial mall, as I call them, contains 2 fountains overlooking 3 jet pools on descending levels. The bronze dolphins and turtles that decorate these pools symbolize the resurrection and everlasting life. So it's good to know there's some meaning put into the decorations out here. It's pretty awesome to see the fountains and some other things. And as you can tell, they're out taking care of the cemetery. They have someone mowing there. They have a tractor over on this side. One thing I wanted to make note of is that not everyone who's buried here is known. There were several of these markers, like this one here. It says, "Here rest in honored glory, a comrade in arms, known but to God." So not everyone who went to war came back, and they didn't know the names of everyone. God knows. And even though we don't know their names, I'm very glad that they're being honored as well.
Up near the little chapel, which is also the bell tower, they have this monument. Actually, it's a set of 2. One side having the name of those who died, and the other side having really awesome maps which show the war and different battles that happened, where forces were, and also you can look on there for some of the major cities which are still in existence today.
As we were going through the cemetery, we were looking at the different states, and I found someone from my home state of Florida. And as you go through, you can look.
You might be able to find somebody from your home state as well who fought for your freedom. Here's one last look at the front gate from the inside, and of course they do have restrooms right there for anyone who might need them. They're just across from the visitor center. They also do have QR codes here and there around the cemetery for you to scan for more information. We're glad you could join us today as we looked at the Luxembourg American Cemetery. Please feel free to leave your comments down below.
Thanks again for watching. Please check out my books at www.amazon.com/author/David H. Troyer. Have a great day, and we hope to see you in our travels. Kidwelly Castle in Wales.